Hello, and welcome to the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast, where we explore the latest in life extension and anti-aging science with a dive into a month's worth of insights and new breakthroughs. This podcast is a combined effort of the Life Extension Advocacy Foundation, which operates Lifespan.io, and Future Grind, a podcast that explores the ethics and implications of emerging science and technology. I'm Ryan O'Shea, and I'll be your host. We've made it to the end of 2018. A lot of things slow down at this time of the year, but not aging. So the work continues. Remember, to find out more about any of these topics, you can visit lifespan.io/roundup. In November, the 4th Euro Symposium for Healthy Aging took place in Brussels. Leaf's Nicola Bagala and Elena Milova both spoke at the event. These talks are now published on our website. Nicola's talk focused on the social issues relating to rejuvenation biotechnology, such as negative misconceptions and skepticism. Here's a clip from his talk.
Why isn't life extension more popular, and how can we make it more popular? Well, we might want to start by making sure people don't get the wrong idea about what we mean by life extension. And what we mean is the administration of medical treatments that address the root causes of aging. These treatments may keep us healthier for longer, postponing age-related ill health and death potentially indefinitely, and the obvious results of this are much longer health spans and lifespans. But when people think that we mean extending frailty or hooking you up to machines to forcefully keep you alive or mind uploading and stuff like that, it's only natural that they freak out, so we have to make sure to set the record straight right from the beginning. However, by itself, this is probably not going to be enough to win people over, because they're still going to ask, well, why would you want life extension? Which is exactly the same as asking, well, why wouldn't you want to get a terminal disease? And, I'm fairly sure they would all understand why this is a remarkably stupid question, but to persuade them, we need to answer the first question anyway, even though, the perfect answer would be exactly because I don't want to get a terminal disease. So here are some reasons to want life extension that we can give to people. Most importantly, the goals of medicine are curing or preventing diseases, preventing or alleviating suffering, and preserving life for as long as possible. And the goals of life extension are exactly the same in the special case of older patients. So we want life extension to be able to provide truly effective medical care regardless of the patient's age, which isn't too controversial, right? Life extension would also give us the freedom to choose a longer and healthier life. And at the moment, past a certain age, we don't really have a choice to be healthier or live much longer. Without life extension technologies, this can't be done, not even in principle. If we had life extension, it would be possible, not certain, but possible, for us to remain fully healthy and live for as long as we wanted. From a moral standpoint, opposing life extension or research on it is opposing the idea that older people should be fully healthy. And worse still, a ban on life extension would effectively constitute legalized age-based discrimination against older people. We would be saying basically that once you're old enough, we'd rather you get sick and die than do something about it. These are only some of the reasons to want life extension, but they should be more than enough to make it extremely popular. And yet it is not. There are several reasons why that is, the most obvious of which is skepticism. People are understandably skeptical that rejuvenation might be possible because historically, rejuvenation was the subject of plenty of myths and tales, and therefore it not only goes against our everyday experience, but it also has a sort of mythical feel to it. In the past, people did genuinely try to achieve rejuvenation, but their attempts involved things like, drinking mercury, injecting themselves with extracts from dog testicles, and none of these worked very well. Also, there have been, shall say, crafty people who didn't really try to create the elixir of youth, but managed to sell it anyway. And in contrast, actual scientific understanding of the root causes of aging and what we could do to prevent it has made significant progress only very recently. So virtually everyone has had plenty of time to internalize the preconception that aging is an immutable phenomenon and rejuvenation is either a pipe dream or the stuff of quacks, while most haven't even heard about the actual science. And on top of that, we've all learned to be resigned to aging. And skepticism is a fantastic way to protect ourselves from a potential letdown in this sense. And in the process, we should avoid red flags such, calling life extension immortality when they are two different things, endorsing supplements of dubious efficacy, or associating with people who don't quite follow the scientific method and stuff like that. So, in short, life extension isn't yet as popular as it deserves to be, mainly because of issues with our audience and as well with the advocacy efforts themselves, all of which can be fixed if we put enough effort into them. Humanity has completed hard challenges before. We can do this one as well.
Elena's talk focused on the ways in which longevity advocates can reach an audience of millions instead of thousands. One way to do that is to equip journalists with the tools and knowledge necessary to effectively cover advances in life extension science. Here's an update on Elena's efforts to do just that.
One of the projects I talked about in Brussels during the Eurosymposium on Healthy Aging was the School of Longevity Journalism. The school is a project that I initiated this year to help journalists learn more about advances in aging research so that they can write better articles about the topic. The school goes over the topic from every important angle. We begin with basic information on aging, what science knows about aging today, what the underlying processes of aging are, and how the accumulation of damage from aging leads to the manifestation of age-related diseases. Then we discuss ways to target the mechanisms of aging through medical interventions and how to interrupt the progress of damage accumulation, thus preventing and delaying age-related diseases. We, of course, talk about the pioneers in this field, the scientists, research organizations, and flagship biotechnology companies, and, of course, the clinical trials. However, the school is not only about that. We also share what we have learned about the best way to communicate these ideas. It's not enough to deliver the information, you see. The articles have to be understood and people must like them. So during the school, we also look at sociological studies that focus on the public perception of aging research. We discuss different words, expressions, and messages along with the peculiarities of their public perception and interpretation. It turns out that an article about aging research can be approved of or disapproved of by the public because of word choices. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to provide our colleagues in mass media with a toolkit that enables them to make the articles accurate, information-dense, and also attractive to the public. I organized the first school in Sochi, Russia during the All Russia 2018 Media Forum in October. And around a week ago, I was invited to the opening of the Media Institute for Public Health, which is a local initiative supported by our Ministry of Health, with the goal of educating journalists on various health topics. We are currently discussing the School of Longevity Journalism within the framework of the Media Institute, and I hope that in February, the first set of our joint lectures on gerontology will begin.
You can also watch talks from representatives of Open Longevity and the International Longevity Alliance on our YouTube channel. The last Journal Club of the year was live-streamed on December 18th, and the paper reviewed was titled, Fisetin is a xenotherapeutic that extends health and lifespan. Fisetin is a commonly available supplement and a plant-based polyphenol that appears to influence the aging process in mice by clearing senescent cells. The takeaway from this study is that late-life intervention was sufficient to yield a potent health benefit. These characteristics suggest the feasibility of translation to human clinical studies. You can find the Journal Club video by visiting lifespan.io/roundup. A number of interviews were recently posted on our website, including a conversation with Russian geriatrician Valery Novoselov, who suspects that the record-breaking 122-year lifespan of Jean Calment may have been a fraud. We're also featuring a conversation with Dr. Jan Gruber, who has published studies on combinations of anti-aging drugs in nematodes. 2 more recurring names on this podcast have new content posted this month. Aubrey de Grey spoke about the possibility of having many rejuvenation therapies in clinical trials within 5 years, and our second interview of the year with Fight Aging's editor and Repair Biotechnologies co-founder Reason features his views on aging theories, future plans for Repair Biotechnologies, and more. And now for the research roundup. According to a study from the Mayo Clinic on a cohort of nearly 1,000 patients, people with a higher number of mitochondrial DNA copies in blood cells had better self-rated health regardless of their age. The study also found out that older patients tend to have a lower mitochondrial DNA copy count, and that the number is lower in men than in women. Thanks to a new technique called cryo-EM, which earned its creators the Nobel Prize for Chemistry, the secrets of the proteasome are being unlocked. Scripps research scientists managed to capture snapshots of the proteasome at work, unveiling important details of the protein degradation process in which the proteasome is a central player. Researchers from the University of Miami conducted a series of studies on the effect of mesenchymal stem cell therapy in patients suffering from age-related frailty. The studies show that the therapy is both safe and somewhat effective, and that it improves the physical ability of patients and reduces the burden of chronic inflammation for at least some months. A paper published on Aging Cell found that a number of genes controlling for telomere length might be biomarkers of aging. In the study, it was observed that high-performing centenarians who managed to stave off serious diseases for longer than other centenarians have longer telomeres in their T cells and higher telomerase activity. Cytomegalovirus, a member of the herpes virus family, is an extremely common virus among humans, which lies dormant in nearly everyone for most of our lives, but contributes to the weakening of our immune system as we age. Now, researchers at the Gladstone UCSF Center for Cell Circuitry might have found a way to eliminate it from the body, which has thus far been impossible. Researchers from the University of Queensland have discovered an epigenetic signature common to a variety of cancers, including prostate, breast, and colorectal, that can easily and cheaply be detected. The technology utilizes gold nanoparticles that instantly change color if a signature is present in a sample. The accuracy was found to be around 90%. You can find out more information on any of these studies at lifespan.io/roundup. The application period for the SENS Research Foundation's 2019 Summer Scholars Program is underway and will end on February 4th, 2019. Additionally, the SENS Postbaccalaureate Fellowship Program website has been updated for 2019, with more information on research project options coming on January 7th. In other news, the SENS Winter Fundraiser currently stands at over $300,000, inching closer to the $500,000 goal. If you wish to donate, you can find out more on our website. Unity Biotechnology has announced the addition of a 6th cohort of patients to test the safety and tolerability of a higher dose of their candidate senolytic drug, which is intended to treat knee osteoarthritis. The additional cohort will push the expected date of availability of the results to the second quarter of 2019. The company, which has recently welcomed Dr. Margot Roberts to its board of directors, launched the trial in late June of this year. Life Biosciences, a company focusing on nearly all the hallmarks of aging through its daughter companies, has recently announced the addition of Bracken Darrell to its board of directors. Co-founded by Dr. David Sinclair, the company's mission is to create a future where age-related decline is not a fact of life. The Longevity Therapeutics Summit will take place from January 29th to 31st in San Francisco. The event will feature several leading speakers from the industry, as well as from academia, and is a great networking and learning opportunity. You can read more about this event, or anything else mentioned here, at lifespan.io/roundup. That's it for the last episode of 2018 for the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and post about it on social media. This will increase our reach and introduce more people to the importance of life extension science. Don't forget, you can get additional deep dives into science, technology, and futurism on the Future Grind podcast. Find out more at futuregrind.org. Once again, I'm your host, Ryan O'Shea, and on behalf of the team at Leaf, we wanted to thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next time on the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast.